what I'm sure you've been asked this question 1,000 times today, and I quote, call me an a-hole, call me a blowhard, but don't call me an African-American, close quote. You know that rubbed a whole lot of black folks the wrong way.
I don't know why. You know, did Rosa Parks sit on that bus so we could put a hyphen in front of the word American?
Nope, not at all. Keep going.
Did those little girls die in that church so we could come and define ourselves by another culture? Did girls die in that church so we could come and define ourselves by another culture? No. You know, no. That's not the deal. As an American, we are entitled to everything the Constitution offers, to everything the Declaration of Independence says, to every opportunity that exists in this country. I am not going to let somebody water down my Americanism because they feel more comfortable with labeling me with a country that I can't tell you the cultures of. Tell me what you know about the cultures of Africa. Tell me.
I can do that.
I want you to feel more comfortable with labeling me with a country that I can't tell you the cultures of. Tell me what you know about the cultures of Africa. Tell me.
I can do that.
I want you to.
I can do that. It would take away our time. Let me ask you, because I want to hear your thoughts, and it's not what Travis said.
No, but it's important, Travis, because if I can pose the question to you, and you can tell me what you know about Africa, but what can you tell me about your grandmother and your great-grandmother? See, this culture is here. And what can you tell me about your grandmother and your great-grandmother? See, this culture is here. I see your point. I respect that. Okay. But let me challenge you on that. Right. What do you say to people who say that they prefer to be called an African-American because, at the very least, it gives them an identity? You know full well that this country has done a brilliant job of stripping away from African-American people their identity. What about wanting to be called an African-American because it at least gives you an identity which black people really feel like they don't have? What are you identifying to?
To their mother country.
How do you know it's the mother country? How do you know it's the mother country?
Are you suggesting that Europe or some other place was and not Africa?
Could be Egypt. Could be all kinds of different places. Well, but no, not all Egyptians are black.
I'm not saying that. No, but the two things aren't mutually exclusive.
Well, but you see, what you're saying is you want an identity that makes it acceptable for you to be here. And I'm saying this is our identity. This is what we are fighting for. This is why our parents and grandparents and great-grandparents were whipped and beaten and bitten and hit with hoses, not so that we could identify. This is the mother country. We're the only immigrant population brought here against our will. Brought here against our will. This belongs to us. This is our legacy.
Well, this belongs to us. This is our legacy.
And I can tell you all of the strands and all of the places that our families reach out into and built. And I am not willing. I am not willing. And I don't mind if you want to be called an African American. That's okay. But I'm not willing to do that. I'm not willing to hyphenate. Because as soon as you do that, they say, well, you know, you actually are an African American. So, you know, you only came here when. No. The Mayflower was here. I was under Mayflower. Everything you're entitled to, I'm entitled to. Why is it that someone can come and become a citizen of this country and get everything that the country has to offer, and I gotta beg? I am an American.
Round of a motherfucking applause for Whoopi Goldberg, ladies and gentlemen, for speaking truth to power.